Hello fellow hunters and welcome to another video. I have seen a lot of hunters asking about the double legendaries recently. Questions like what's the best legendary combo and which armor slots should we put them in have been up more times than I can count. So today, this video focuses on just that. A deep dive into the Hunter PvP Legendaries, what to use, why should you use them, and my personal thoughts on what will be the best picks for the following season. Before we begin though, make sure to killshot the subscribe button and trap that like button. It really helps me out. Also, if you're interested in seeing me live, my stream is linked to the description below. Now, let's dive in. Alright, so let's go through the armor slots first. The rule of thumb here is pretty simple. We want to put our legendary powers into off pieces so that we can equip our set pieces for the 4-set bonus, as well as have our legs armor slot for our PvP legs, which is the best in slot. Thus, our best in slot gear set is something like this. First, the 4-set consisting of head, shoulders, chest and hands. Covenant legendary in a ring slot, other legendary in an off piece, and the rest is PvP gear. The set pieces may alter depending on the chosen non-covenant legendary. Now I will walk you through the legendaries and their respective slots. For the covenant legendary Unity, we want to put it into a ring slot. The reasoning behind this is that it allows us to have two best statted rings, for example double haste and versatility rings. This in turn allows us to get haste breakpoints for abilities such as Blade Shot and Serpent Sting easier, and this in turn allows us to gem and enchant our gear towards more versatility. We also get a free gem socket for the legendary, which is a nice bonus. Next up, we want to have Craven's Stratagem, or the Feign Death legendary, into a neck slot. The reasoning is simple. Chest slot is reserved for a tier set piece, and we don't want to occupy it with Craven. We also get a gem slot into this legendary as well. These two legendaries, Craven and Unity, will be the most used during this season, as the combination between the defensive capabilities of Craven combined with the damage increase of the Covenant legendary will give us lots of tools in our matches. However, if you want to go even more aggressive and change Craven for another legendary, these are the best spec-specific options in my opinion. Firstly, Latent Poison for Survival Hunters. This legendary empowers our Serpent Sting to put a stack of latent poison on the target per each tick, that will trigger damage once the enemy is hit with a Raptor Strike. This can be especially strong against priests, as they are unable to remove poisons. These stacks also hurt a ton, and can give some pretty amazing value on swaps. However, the downside is that the legendary power requires time to ramp up, and it is prone to dispels. For Latent Poison, I recommend putting this power into the Hands armor slot. As for the Latent Poison stacks, the more uptime you have on Serpent Sting, the more ticks will happen, and the more stacks will be accumulated. A nice trick is that Haste also allows you to gain more ticks from each Serpent Sting, and the Haste breakpoint for that is 25.12%. Latent Poison is also applied from every single Serpent Sting attack. The initial damage also provides you with a Latent Poison stack, so if you are rooted and you can't do anything else, spamming Serpent Sting will help you ramp up your Latent Poison stacks. Secondly, Quapla, or the Barbed Shot legendary for BMs. This legendary can provide higher levels of burst, as the set bonus also focuses around kill command damage. However, it is tough to say just how effective this will be in the long run. It can become quite the surprise factor, or it is just a lot of noise for not that much profit. Unfortunately, BM legendaries are not the best for PvP, but this is a fine contender. For this legendary, place it into the Hands armor slot. Thirdly, Surging Shots for Marksman. As most MMs already have this for those juicy rapid fire hits, this provides even more burst. Also, this legendary gives the chance to gain more rapid fires, which works well with the trickshot set bonus and allows for larger burst windows. For this legendary, place it into the wrist armor slot. Next are the best general legendaries that each spec can use to replace Craven. Firstly, Sephuz. This legendary has a good passive ability and sets up well with freezing traps cooldown, allowing us to do higher damage goes. Also, the 10% CC reduction is a great addition, especially in combination with other reductions such as Orc stun reduction or the Relentless trinket if you are a human hunter. For this legendary, place it into the neck armor slot. Secondly, Call of the Wild, the one with the least flavor but allows for more cooldown reduction in both offensive as well as defensive toolkit. 2-minute turtle is a great thing to have, not to mention faster true shots, aspect of the wild, coordinated strike, and aspect of the cheetah. However, this legendary is a bit of a lackluster and other legendaries are, in my opinion, stronger. This has value, and could also be a great meme in combination with other cooldown reductions, such as Marksman's Calling the Shots talent that reduces the CD on true shot for each arcane shot. For this legendary, I recommend putting it into the wrist armor slot. So, which legendaries will be the best? In my opinion, the choices are fairly simple. Craven plus Covenant will dominate as the combination between 15-second removal ability, 12% mini-wall from Feign Death Conduit, and especially Pouch of Razor Fragments damage output will be significant. If Craven is not needed, Hunter damage will be crazy as Latent provides stronger goes or Sephuz will grant us a ton of secondary stats and weaken enemy team's CC chains. Of all the Covenants, we will be seeing Necrolord and Venthyr the most, as their Covenant legendaries are by far the best in terms of PvP. Pouch of Razor Fragments, the Venthyr Covenant legendary, allows us to basically increase our killshot damage by 60% in a form of bleed. More than that, if multiple targets, such as pets, are hit. As Blizzard changed the pouch to not be applied on trapped targets, hunters can now freely use killshot procs without having to worry that the trap will be broken by the bleed. This will mean that hunter DPS will be significantly increased. The double legendary is most witnessed in comps where Craven was mandatory, such as Affliction Warlock and Shadow Priest comps. This will be a major change into those matchups, especially against Shadow Priests, as hunters can now killshot Scythians and apply bleeds on the Shadow Priests, and vice versa. As for Necrolords, their Bag of Munitions legendary allows Death Chakrams to apply explosive shots to up to 2 people. This means that if the enemies are stacked, they will both take the damage from each of the explosive shots. Combined with already ridiculous damage of Marksman, this will give a large AoE damage spike in addition to single target pressure. Combined with setups such as DK Mass Grips and Restodruid's Vortex, we can see something pretty spicy in our near future. Together with trick shots, MM has the capability to deal both heavy single target damage as well as great AoE damage during attack windows. However, for Necrolord survivals, bombs combined with these explosive shots can also yield a surprisingly effective setup. So, to summarize, put the Unity legendary power into your ring slot and put your legendary power into off-piece if possible. Make sure to have 4 tier set armor slots open for the respective tier pieces. Get the rest as PvP gear. The best legendary power combination is Craven and Unity, and if you're able to replace Craven for more damage, pick one from the list. For survival hunters especially, if you are not comfortable with Serpent Sting spamming with Latent, play Sephuz, although I would recommend practicing the Serpent Sting usage. So final words before we close this guide. You can always ask me about this stuff on my Twitch, where I will be streaming Hunter PvP weekly. You can also leave a comment down below and I will respond to them as fast as possible. If you are new here and found this video helpful, please consider subscribing to my channel. It's free, you can always change your mind, and it really helps me out a ton. Also, if you have any other hunter friends who would benefit from this video, please mention me to them. Thank you guys for watching this video, and as always, happy hunting!